Hi everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm McEvoy, photographer, website creator and Lightroom long-time user. This week on my photography blog I have written a post called 15, excuse me for looking at the screen again, 15 practical tips to help you work faster in Lightroom Classic. Started writing this and I thought, who am I to give advice on how to use Lightroom? And I thought about this and, well, I've been using Lightroom since 2007. Version 1 was released. It was a software package. You bought a disk, loaded it onto your computer, you were given a product key, and then off you went. 2007, a long time ago. What's Lightroom? Lightroom is an application, or app as we call them in this modern day and age. We used to call them programs and software, but that was then, this is now. Lightroom is an app for importing, editing, managing, exporting, doing all sorts of stuff with photos. I'll just show you my Lightroom catalogue. That'll take a minute actually, I should have planned this one a bit better. Not to worry, it will appear in its own good time. This is what Lightroom catalogue looks like. I've just done a screenshot of some lovely shots from Paxos in Greece. Check out my other website, paxostravelguide.com. Here's Lightroom. One thing that happens when you fire up Lightroom is it sort of pushes everything else out of the way. It's all me, I'm Lightroom, I'm here. Look at that, straight in, straight over Firefox. Give it a minute, it'll get there. Here we go. This is actually how quickly Lightroom loads. So this is Lightroom. Lots of blue photos. Paxos 2017. Mainly unedited, get around to them, but I digress. So Lightroom is an application for importing, managing, editing and exporting digital photos. There are a number of different versions of Lightroom. It used to be Lightroom. Then Adobe added Lightroom to the Creative Cloud, so you now have to pay for it on a monthly subscription, which costs less than £10 for Lightroom and Photoshop. Now, some people complained about that. They object to the subscription model and having to pay it every month, but Lightroom used to cost around £150. Photoshop used to cost, it was about £500. I never paid full price for it. I just got a one of those codes off eBay, possibly not legitimate. Anyway, I can say that now because I'm now a legitimate photography package subscriber with Adobe and happy to pay £10 a month. I think it's a bargain. Rumour has it Adobe are going to double the cost of that to just under £20. Not sure what that is in dollars, but if they do, they do. Are we all going to jump away from Lightroom and Photoshop? No, we're not. Adobe know that. They can charge us double. Still not too bad a price, is it? £20 a month. What does that equate to? 5 coffees at Costa and Starbucks? Or maybe 6, or maybe if you're in London, 1. I'm not in London, by the way. Which version of Lightroom should I use? I use Lightroom Classic. That's the original version of Lightroom that you bought on the disc, blah blah blah. There is also Lightroom CC, which is well, one of the things about Lightroom CC is it's meant to be a lot quicker. I mean a lot quicker, but all your photos are in the cloud. I've got over 70,000 photos. I need more than 2 terabytes. 1 terabyte cloud storage comes, so could get expensive. So I use Lightroom Classic. It's got all the features. Lightroom CC does not have all the features, but it does, I believe, have some artificial intelligence stuff which is better than Lightroom Classic. Now then, first things first, get your version of Lightroom, whichever one it is, and learn it. This is a photo of my bookshelf. That's up there. I won't point the camera up because it'll mess everything up, but the Adobe Photoshop Lightroom CC book That was a book I bought and used. This one, Lightroom for Digital Photographers, written by Scott Kelby, published by not Rocky Nook, okay. Anyway, the new version, the Adobe Photoshop Lightroom Classic CC book for digital photographers. A snappy title, but a very good book. I recommend you buy one book, work your way through it. I bought every book on Lightroom back in the day, every book, delved into each one a little bit, got some of the software, tried Photoshop at the same time, and where did that get me? Sorry, I just noticed the church from Santorini in the background there, just bear with. Santorini, lovely place, we'll put that to one side. And yeah, I didn't get anywhere really. Penny dropped. I learned to use Lightroom and just Lightroom. I've been using Lightroom for 12 years and I think I know it pretty well now. So, get a book, learn Lightroom, set Lightroom up correctly. I use the graphics processor accelerator. I set the cache at 70 gigabytes, video cache at 3, and all these other bits here. Calibrate your monitor. Yeah, I do that. I1 Match 3, bought some time ago. It was a perfectly good piece of kit when I bought it 3, 4, 5 years ago, so I don't feel the need to replace it. Why do I calibrate my monitor? First things first when I'm editing is I get the colours right using the white balance tool. If it looks right on my monitor, it is right. If my monitor's not calibrated, how do I know? My starting point is unknown. Next one's the file structure. There's Lightroom. No, we don't want to do that. This is my file structure. Can't really see it. I have one catalogue, very important point, one catalogue. All my photos are in one catalogue. Adobe say there's no limit to how many photos you can have in one catalogue in Lightroom. Don't have more than one catalogue. I did, it was a nightmare. You can turn off now if you want to know one thing that really matters, it is that. So I have a catalogue. It's on my external hard drive, that's why it says E. I have an import folder. It needs a bit of sorting, granted, but everything gets imported into here. I have an iPhone import folder because I had to get all my photos from the camera roll onto my hard drive because my phone was full. Not as easy as it sounds, that's one for another time. I've got a sort folder and then my commercial work. I won't go through all these, just give you an idea. Split up by year when the it's been a bit slow, so it's not none of this slow. 2008, 9, 11. Should we say that again? 2008, 9, 10, 11. Blah blah blah. By year and by job. Let's pick a good year. 2016. Only one job, not a good year. And I have people who I do loads of work for. Sorry if they're not all whited out, it's just taking its time. You need to treat the file structure the same way you would with Windows Explorer. All your files in a filing cabinet. Simple, logical, doesn't need to be complicated. This structure I came up with, I think 3 years ago now, and I had a hard drive failure and I was in a bit of a mess. And it's one that I can add to. The only change is I took the worldwide section, which is this, all the places I've been, and I took the Paxos and Santorini photos and put them in a separate folder called websites because I was creating websites. So, organise your files, import presets. There's a setting when you import presets, very important. very important that you use these selections to make Lightroom run as quickly as you can. Digression here, get as much RAM as you can. I had 8 GB of RAM. A recent update, Adobe said you need 12 GB to benefit from the improvements to the software. I doubled mine to 16, not looked back. Sorry, I was flipping past the import presets. I apply a number of develop preset adjustments. I'll say that again. When I import some images, I apply some processing to the images. This is, all the settings are here, which you can see on the blog post. These are screenshots. Basically, it's things that I find myself doing all the time, which give me a little bit of a head start in processing. Sharpening, quite often I won't even touch sharpening, I just apply this, which works for me. Lens corrections, why would you not lens correct every shot? Don't understand why I wouldn't. And don't tell anybody, but I put a little vignette on every photo. Okay, I'll speed up now. Tip 7, choose the images you want to work with. Don't edit every photo, choose the photos first. I tell you how I select photos here. Solo mode, let me show you. Go to the develop module. D is a shortcut. Keyboard shortcuts are the best. I have panels here. If I'm in the basic panel and I want to go to the detail panel, because I'm in solo mode, which is selected here, it closes the panel. When I select a new panel, the old one closes. If I don't have that, this is what you get. You get board scrolling up and down, up and down. Since I found out about solo mode, never ever gone away from it. Work through the modules. I organise my photos in library. I develop them in the develop module. I use the map module because I've got GPS on my Canon 6D, travel photography. It works, makes sense. Keyboard shortcuts. This is 10 keyboard shortcuts. Did I say keyboard shortcuts then? If this is 10 keyboard shortcuts. These are the 10 that came off the top of my head, which I use quite a lot. File syncing, copy paste, editing, brilliant. Look into it. Copy, paste, down here at the bottom. You've also got, if I select some images, sync. You can sync the metadata, the processing, all sorts of stuff. Have a play around, it's good. Stick with Lightroom until you know it inside out, and don't worry about Photoshop yet. Let me tell you one thing about Photoshop. I don't really understand it. It's too complicated. Lightroom I get, Photoshop don't really get layers, it's a bit too abstract for me. I have Photoshop, I use it for my commercial work, it's very, very important to me, but I only use it to remove things. Metadata, keywords, nightmare, 70,000 photos, I need to put keywords to them all. No, I don't. I need to put keywords and titles and captions and all that good stuff to images that are leaving my hard drive and going somewhere else. If they're not going anywhere, what's the point? So I put the keywords, metadata, titles, descriptions, captions. That all goes when just before I export images out of Lightroom. I add copyright information on import because I can. Lightroom Mobile, iPhone, iPad, other devices are available. Has its faults, has its annoyances, like if you put keywords in photos in Lightroom Mobile, they don't appear in Lightroom Classic, and there is a bit of an issue at the moment with where the collections are, but Lightroom Mobile is brilliant. When I say make you work faster in Lightroom, you can lie on your sofa with your iPad and pick the images you want. Much better than sitting here. Last point, don't aim for perfection. Believe it or not, I'm not a perfectionist. The 80-20 rule, Pareto's principle. I always get the wording of this wrong, but the way I look at it is 80% is pretty good, 100% never get it. So do the best you can, don't try for perfection. That is it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please follow me on Pinterest. Please subscribe to my blog on my homepage by filling in the bits in the box. Please join me next week for another video about something which I'm going to write about right now. Thank you. See you next week.